Hi, and welcome to an interview of local filmmaker Ben Siler, who's just recently moved out of his parents' house. So, Ben, you've decided to quit your job, move out of your parents' house, and spend an entire year making film. Why?
I really just couldn't be myself around my parents because they spend a lot of money on a house in Collierville, and they have these huge doorways, and there's no part, my dad will watch the NBC local news and the NBC nightly news with Tom Brokaw, and they're just really loud, and I disagree on all sorts of levels with both those news programs, and I think that the latter one is just like propaganda. So basically what I'll be doing is I'll be sitting in my house and I'll be listening to like Tom Brokaw talk about George Bush, and it makes me feel really bad, and feel like I'm just wasting my life and I can't control anything, and I feel impotent, and yeah.
Well, that sounds like a good reason. Did you go to film school?
Yes, I did go to film school. No, actually, no, I did not. I'm just going along the interview pattern. Yeah, I definitely did not go to film school because I don't think it would be. I guess I'm just hoping for. Sometimes I think that maybe I'll win the lottery or something, and that's I think eventually I'll snap out of it and I'll recognize that you have to actually sometimes work a little bit harder at certain things.
So, do you prescribe to any filmmaking methods at all?
Filmmaking methods. I definitely tend to try to avoid technical stuff, and that means that my work sometimes looks really not so professional. And I think recently I've noticed other people who work on their sound and have 3-chip cameras. I just noticed that really doesn't. It looks better. People tend to react more strongly to things that look nice, and I don't know. There is probably a process, but I really don't want to think about it because I think that I'm around people who talk about the process of how they do their stuff all the time. I think after a while they get more creative about how they talk about it than how they do it. So I think that talking sometimes kills creativity, though not always.
Sounds like a good theory.
Yeah.
Your films are often said to be very personal. How do you feel about that?
They're not really that personal. You just take a random thing that would seem personal and you put it in there, and then people are like, wow, that's great. But it's not really, you just kind of, I don't know. I think writing is personal in some ways.
What about the film Classified Ad?
Classified Ad is really is about a person who goes to a job that they dislike over and over and again. And I think eventually I have some really, it's supposed to be, I hope no one takes it seriously, there's some Christ imagery. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm saying that by going to my job I'm like Christ, which I think is really heavy-handed, but it's supposed to be a joke. And so I got to like dress up in 2x4 my room, and I had my friend go at the bottom, blanket over her head, and she was like the Virgin Mary, and yeah, it was I think your filmmaking can always be personal as long as you do it on the cheap. I think once you get, say, 3 people involved, it will start to look professional, and that's what you don't want.
Are you currently making a film?
I'm currently making a film, several different projects. I run out of computer space and I have to go buy another external hard drive. And I think that's the way filmmaking should be. I think this should go away, and I think there should be like computers. I think it should be a very personal project. I think that Francis Ford Coppola once said something like, so a fat girl in Iowa can make movies. I think that's a really stupid thing to say, but it's what he meant was that anybody can make movies, and I feel that I'm that person.
All right. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you for joining me, and thank you, Ben.